Josh, Movie Mob. I'm Tony.
I'm Josh, and today we are reviewing the 1984 classic film by Joe Dante, who's also known for The Howling and The Burbs, Gremlins.
What is it?
It's your new pet. Number one, you gotta keep him out of bright light. Number two, keep him away from water.
It's incredible.
And probably the most important thing, don't ever feed him after midnight.
Gremlins, I own on Blu-ray, which is pretty nice. It has all the extra special features with Joe Dante commentary, which I was listening to. And I also have Warner Brothers motion picture score of Gremlins, which is performed by Jerry Goldsmith, who did a lot of other classic Hollywood movies, and he did Small Soldiers. The only side 2 is Jerry Goldsmith. The first side is like all the pop hits, like Peter Gabriel and that freaking Mega Madness, that like basically that dance mob sequence when the Gremlins are all together in the bar and they're like doing like that, basically that 80s dance. So some of the pop songs are pretty dated, but Jerry Goldsmith's lovely score is like one of the best aspects of this film.
Billy, what are these things?
Gremlins.
Basically, it's about this hometown hero. What's his name? Zach Galligan? Yeah, Billy. Zach Galligan is the actor. So Billy acquires this mogwai, which is like this furry, like little creature. Basically, has receiving a little pet hamster, but with a higher intelligence and with bigger ears, and kind of articulates his fingers. You know,
Very good musically.
Yeah,
it's got perfect pitch.
And it could sing. Yeah, exactly. Which from the commentary I was listening to, Joe Dante was saying that like Jerry Goldsmith got this little girl from his choir from his church to sing the little motif of Gizmo, you know, so it's not like anyone classically trained, it's just someone at his church. He's like, oh, we'll get you, you could sing for Gizmo. Billy Peltzer requires this mogwai, and eventually if you feed him after midnight or do any of these extra rules, you know, like don't...
Number one, you gotta keep him out of bright light. Number two, keep him away from water.
It's incredible.
And probably the most important thing, don't ever feed him after midnight.
If you follow these rules, these simple rules, then you have a great time with your mogwai. But if you do any of the sorts, you could potentially die, multiply, and turn into a gremlin.
Yeah.
Which a gremlin is from like World War II era, like that term. So it's like
really?
a pilot term, like say there's like something wrong with the engine. It would be like, oh, you have gremlins in your cockpit or something. You know, there's something like the foreigners put gremlins. That's why Mr. Futterman's all the time like, oh, the gremlins.
Yeah.
WII when he's in his tractor. He drives away. I think Gremlins is the best example for a movie, like, it perfects, like, a movie, like, with, like, these vermin and these creatures, like, that make havoc in, like, a small town scale, you know, like, this is the best you're going to get, is Gremlins.
I think this is pretty close to a perfect movie. Like, honestly.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Did you notice? I wanted to ask you this. So, with the opening shot, right? Not the opening shot, but, like, the opening of, like, when they show the whole town, you know, like, they show the backlot. Did you notice, did it kind of remind you of any other place?
It's Hill Valley.
Yeah. So, it's the same location where they filmed Hill Valley, California, which is Back to the Future and a bunch of... it's like the Universal movie backlot, so they filmed a bunch of other old films beforehand. But I think it's more famous for Back to the Future, which is funny because this movie came out a year before Back to the Future, so 1984. Both produced by Steven Spielberg, this and Back to the Future. So it's kind of like every time I see it, I kind of just see you see like the courthouse and, you know, where the movie theater is and everything, where the Gremlins eventually see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they're all like singing in the audience.
I didn't even think about it. It's like the same movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same movie theater. But I love with like even the opening shot and the ending shot, like they use not the opening shot, but the opening landscape of the whole town. Like in the background, you could totally tell that it's Well, you can tell, but if you're looking for it, you can tell that it's like matte paintings, like a hand drawn artist, and it looked like and it doesn't look real, but like it looks like like when like someone has like a painting of a holiday painting, and it just kind of inflects the whole holiday season, like it kind of encapsulates what that season's about, and that kind of reflected with the matte paintings. That's how the feelings I get, especially when the Chinese man who receives Gizmo at the end of the movie, when he gets Gizmo back, he's like walking out of the town, and like it looked, it just looked like a holiday season.
That shot,
painting.
It was beautiful. Like it was like a perfect matte painting. Like it wasn't even like a super realistic painting. It was just like
but that's what like worked for it.
Exactly.
It was like it looked like something you would give for the holidays, like a holiday card or like a postcard or something.
It was like a long, winding, snowy road, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and it looked awesome. And like, I wish movies even today like more encapsulate that. Like, there's this special effects artist which I talked about before, Ray Harryhausen, who did like these Cyclops and these digital, not digital actually, way before digital, but like all these stop motion monsters. He would say like, things need to look kind of dreamlike, he'd rather have it look dreamlike than like lifelike. Yeah. So, and I completely agree with that kind of philosophy for films. You kind of want it to look. You don't want it to look completely real.
Yeah, exactly.
Like something that resonates in your subconscious, like kind of in the back of your mind, like, oh, is this like real or whatever? I mean, in the Gizmo characters and all the Mogwai, they look like real animals. Like even like how they move.
Yeah.
And like the dog, which his real name is Mushroom, but Barney in the movie, he's like the best actor in the movie, because like how he reacts to the Mogwai and like the Gremlins and stuff. Yeah. He like reacts to it like it looks like it's it's a real animal. Yeah. Him and Corey Feldman, they have the best interactions.
That's true. With Corey Feldman, he's doing the guy thing.
Yeah, exactly. There's like kind of like Hughes like believes it,
Yeah.
And then he loses complete interest when he realizes that he won't get one.
That struck me as like really funny. I thought it was really funny. I felt like everyone in the town kind of just accepted like the Mogwai, like they bring in like a Mogwai into the house, and like the whole family's like, oh, what the hell? I've never heard of this thing.
Yeah,
whatever, it can stay.
But it does look, it's like realistic enough where you could believe it existing in our actual world. Yeah. Like if someone like this, like we were talking about before, like someone discovered that in the wild, like something like that. I don't think it would be like a big stretch. Like I wouldn't be like, what the fuck? That's an alien. Like I would think, oh, that's some weird. Like primate. I would assume it would be like from Madagascar or something like that, like the eye or something. Yeah. Well, eye is like a grosser looking Mogwai. But I love how they turn into like reptiles basically after like they crystallize and hatch out of the cocoons. Yeah, they look like lizards. Almost. I mean, I guess like Joe Dante and the like special effects artists, they were like trying to come up with things like how to torture Gizmo without going too far. And I guess this movie and Temple of Doom were the movies that brought on PG-13, because this was like a movie that parents got a lot of complaints from parents because it was too scary for kids. This scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Like I remember seeing this, I don't know, I was like 6 or 7, and like my older brother JT, he gave it to me like for like a Christmas or birthday present, and like, it's kind of deceiving, which is the best part of the movie, because it starts out like, oh, it's like this cutesy kind of holiday movie with this like new like mythic, like mystical like creature that like kind of warms your heart, like basically like the water horse or something like that, like if it continued on that path line, but I never seen the water horse, but I'm just assuming it would be like that. But this is a movie now I watch every holiday, like every Christmas time. Like I associate this movie with Christmas. When this movie came out, it came out like the same weekend as Ghostbusters, which is interesting. Oh wow! Which is sometime in July or sometime in the summer. Like this movie, I think that was before like the big holiday theme like movies would come out during the holiday times. like holiday season. They didn't realize like how big of a draw that was like back in the 80s. Really, I mean, this movie you could watch any time of the year. It's still entertaining. But I associate it like more as a Christmas movie. But it could, like I said, you could watch anytime. That's why we're reviewing it. We're supposed to review this for Christmas, but we're giving it to you now because it's that great of a movie, and we
exactly.
can talk about it any fucking time because it's fucking Gremlins.
It doesn't hinder it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That we're in January.
Yeah. And speaking of Looney Tunes, Chuck Jones, who's like one of the famous Looney Tune artists and cartoonists who did also How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original Grinch. He is in it in the bar scene, like he's like basically giving feedback to Billy Peltzer and saying like how his art's really.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Chuck Jones, and
okay.
he like interviewed. I mean, he introduces freaking Judge. Yeah, Judge Reinhold was supposed to have a bigger plot in this movie, but they cut a bunch of it out. Was like supposed to do more with the bank and the owner of the bank and what's her name, Mrs. Deagle. They were supposed to like buy all these properties and everything.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of like It's a Wonderful Life.
Interesting. I didn't even know because like they introduced that one character. I don't remember who it was, but he's like I'm 23 by the time I'm.
Yeah, that's Judge Reinhold. Yeah.
Oh, that was
yeah.
He just doesn't show up at all.
No, he's kind
He
of
just shows up and he's like a little shit, and then he leaves.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to make it his comeuppance in like these cut scenes, but like they never. You could see in the DVD extras if you really are interested, but it's not really anything to really rage about. It's actually it's good that they cut it. I guess the original cut of the film was like 2 hours and 45 minutes, which is way too long for a movie like this. Like this is the perfect amount of time for a movie like this. Like the pacing's perfect. Like I said, like this movie can scare the crap out of your kids, but that's what's great about it because it's like trickling on these two different like tones, like very cutesy and like family oriented to like this like manic, crazy, like almost and scary at times film, so it's like riding that line of like horror and like family film, so it's definitely a great movie. And I was trying to introduce it to my girlfriend. I was saying that it's called Mogwai. It's a movie called Mogwai, and it's about this cute little animal that he gets for a present. So if you want to like pull a prank on someone who's never seen it before, like don't tell them anything about the Gremlin. Just tell them about the Mogwai. Just talk about the Mogwai the whole time. It's a feel-good movie. Yeah, it's a feel-good movie. It's kind of like E.T., but a Mogwai. Just keep saying that. Just kind of rep that up. And like, I think that you'll get interesting reactions. But,
yeah, exactly.
But she saw the Blu-ray case and she kind of blew the cover before we got through the whole movie.
Oh, no.
But yeah, this is that. Like I would agree with you, Tony. This is like one of those movies I would just say it's like a perfect film. Like you can't really do any better than with vermin and these mythical creatures running amok through a town. But anyway, Gremlins, I would probably rate it like a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, like around there.
Yeah,
I would give it a 10. Probably.
Yeah,
it's a 10.
Yeah,
10 out of 10. This movie, like it rides the tone like very like a tightrope. It's like it like perfectly maneuvers between the two surfaces.
It can get insanely dark randomly, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah,
like if you want to scare the shit out of your kids, put this movie on. Just tell them about Mogwais. Don't tell them anything else. But I think you should definitely watch this movie. So this is Josh and Tony, Movie Mob.
Yep.
You better look under your bed, because you never know if a gremlin is lurking under it.